Disclaimer, this video may contain blood, violence, strong language, profanity, crude humor, and mature themes and scenes. This video is designed for mature audiences and may not be suitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised. But the majority of you are still gonna watch, aren't you? Thanks. Having been on YouTube for almost 10 months now, I get asked for anime recommendations quite frequently. However, if someone were to ask me, "Hey Alex, what's a good horror anime?" Now there are a few things I could reply with. I'll let you decide. Will it be A. Free, B. Higurashi no Naku Koro ni, C. Elfenlied, or D. Boku no Pico? I'll give you some time to answer. The correct answer is... well, I'll leave that up to you. Anyways, I always recommend Higurashi as the horror anime to watch. I just feel that Higurashi best incorporates multiple genres together in the time allotted. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering, how does Higurashi stand out from the rest? Think of each aspect of a horror anime as a layer. Gore is a guarantee. Don't make it pink. That's your first layer. You need violence. Anime like Monster or Elfenlied are perfect examples. And there's your second layer. You need a good plot. People going around killing each other for idiotic motives. For example, your secret of wetting the bed being exposed does not supply the audience with enough suspense to stay interested in what is to come. But Higurashi, like the aforementioned Monster, supplies an additional fourth layer of an outstanding mystery, leading to the reason why this will always be my #1 horror recommendation. The story's main plot element is the deity Oyashiro, who is considered the god of Hinamizawa. And Oyashiro has one sole role. That role is to kill off all who attempt to leave Hinamizawa, which soon became known as Oyashiro's curse. But every year for the past 5 years, on the night of the Cotton Drifting Festival, a person is deemed to die whilst another is meant to vanish as a sacrifice for the deity itself. But how does one explain this to those who aren't aware of the curse? That's where Maibara Keiichi comes in, who just moved into the supposed peaceful town. Upon his revival, everything was swell as he played innocent card games with his supposed innocent friends. However, his peaceful days end when Maibara learns about a brutal murder that occurred a few years back, which is when it becomes apparent that his cute bunch of feminine friends are not at all what they seem. Like many aspects of the anime, Higurashi takes the road less traveled by, and it does that by leaving you in the dark for a big portion of the first season. If you are jumping into this anime with no prior knowledge at all, after you watch episode 4 and begin episode 5, I can almost guarantee you're going to try to figure out what the hell just happened. But I'll save you the trouble. The entirety of the anime is divided into arcs. Following said division, each arc focuses on a character, and with every character's development, a portion of the overall mystery is revealed. However, don't expect the characters to act the way they did in the previous arc. Everyone changes, for better or for worse. The reason why they change can be caused by something as little as a tiny doll, or something big like the disappearance of a loved one. But after an arc is all said and done with, we go back to the day Maibara moved into town. This particular style of pacing is what attracts many viewers in the first place. Think of it like the movie Inception. You hardly know what's going on at certain times, but you stick around anyway to see it all unfold and finally make sense in the end. Using these methods, Higurashi no Naku Koro ni lives up to its genres as a psychological thrilling mystery. However, Higurashi is comprised of 2 seasons, with the second season being Higurashi no Naku Koro ni Kai. By the end of the first season, the overall picture of Higurashi's mystery will be revealed. However, Higurashi Kai gives you all the answers that were left untouched during its marvelous yet gruesome prequel. Do your best to stay away from Higurashi Rei and Kira. Those series focus mainly on fan service and comedy, which will ruin the overall impression that the canon series delivers. I don't understand how a company can turn this...
本当にお母さん、ご飯作ってくれたの？
あ、いや、だから、くれたんじゃなくて、今。
どうして？
え？
どうして嘘をつくのかな？
嘘なんか。
嘘だよ！圭一くんのお夕飯、カップラーメンでしょ？豚骨生姜味。買ったのはセブンスマート。
into this.
おお、それはそれで、なんだかすごい光景だ。いただきます。
Personally, my favorite aspect of the show, the characters bring out the best of Higurashi's story, and they develop the same way that the plot does. Look at the main female protagonist, Rena Yugu.
Best girl.
By the end of episode 4, the only things you know about her is that the fact that she's cute, crazy, and lethal. You're left in the dark regarding everything about her. But as time passes, everything is solved. By the end of it, we find out her motives, who she worships, her rather dark past, her family history, everything. But now look at the main male protagonist, Maibara. Like Rena, he appears to be a normal teenager who isn't lethal in any way whatsoever. However, due to certain circumstances, he experiences stages of paranoia and anxiety. Despite these aspects, Maibara grows from just the male love interest of the group to an actual leader who others can put their faith in. Seeing his transition from episode 1 to episode 26 of the first season will just leave you baffled to see how much change he has experienced and the salient facts about his life that he has noticed and improved on. And it's through Rena and Maibara that most of Higurashi's themes are shown. Trust, betrayal, friendship, family, they're all major themes that are incorporated into Higurashi, and it makes the viewer reconsider how they treat those around them and hopefully helps them improve their relationships. But not only that, every main character gets a substantial amount of screen time due to their individual arcs, which in turn shows a great deal of development. Each character has an important role to fill, whether it be repaying a debt or being the cause of a mental breakdown. This type of cast means if you take away just one character, whether he or she be main or side, the entire story crumbles and falls apart, and that's how you recognize a strong cast. The fact that the characters of Higurashi can alter their persona at the drop of a hat makes it a completely unpredictable anime. But the scariest part is they can commit unspeakable acts during these crazy states of mind and then act like nothing ever happened. It's rather remarkable that the characters can span such a wide range of emotions. For example, this scene.
先生、次回の罰ゲームは覚悟しておくことですわ。さとこちゃんのメイドかいいよ。お持ち帰り。
And now for something completely different.
じゃあ、そのナタはなんだよ。なんだよ。
圭一くん、悩んでることがある。
Regarding the general animation, I really don't have that much to comment about it. It was standard for its time period that I'll consider average at best. However, I do give credit where credit is due, and Studio Dean did a fantastic job when it came down to differentiating between the characters' mindsets. When the character's state of mind became unstable, one of two things occurred. The first of which became known as the Higurashi face, which is basically when a character's eyes shrink, their pupils dilate drastically, and they begin laughing hysterically. However, the second of which was when the characters became more... what word can I use? Suspicious. When the characters stray away from their casual goofy selves and are more concerned about their surroundings, their eyes grow wider and their pupils become elongated. It makes them seem cat-like. And it's pretty amazing how much detail they put into these minor aspects of the characters despite their low budget. But fear not, children, there is a reason for that. Instead of putting more effort and money into horror scenes like people would expect, they did the exact opposite. During excruciating torture scenes, the animation began to lack because they put less money into it. However, it worked to their advantage. Because less money was invested into these horror scenes, everything seemed warped. And because it was warped, it seemed more frightening to us than it actually was. So if there was ever a way to play off a low budget, this is the way to get it done. And Studio Dean did it perfectly. If you aren't scared of the following weird-ass faces in Higurashi, then you can handle the horror in this anime. Maybe. For an anime with the vast amount of genres like Higurashi, Frontier Works and Dax Production deserve some praise for creating a soundtrack to fit the range of scenes that the anime offers. When the cast is goofing off having fun, the inane background music helps to provide these warm feelings that are meant to be felt. However, on the flip side, when one of the characters, you know, goes on a psychotic rampage, we are greeted with an ominous theme that slowly builds up the suspense until it all ends in a barbarous scene of eerie and sinister laughter. But my favorite aspect, though, is how every important scene opens up with the sound of cicadas. Wait, what do they do? Do they flutter or do they chirp? I gotta Google this. Point is, the sound cicadas make adds a very big effect to the opening of serious scenes for me. The reason being, it kind of created a sense of a pattern within me. As I said with the opening of serious scenes, once you hear cicadas fluttering or chirping or I don't even know anymore, you know shit's about to go down because it's foreshadowing something. Off the topic of bugs that creep the shit out of me, I would like to believe that a very large majority of anime viewers can appreciate Mai Nakahara and Satsuki Yukino, seeing as the two of them can pull off the buoyant and cheerful sides of Rena and Mion very well. But personally, I feel they pull off their malicious personalities even better, not only because I know quite a few voice actors, Michael, but it's common knowledge that vocal range is a very great skill to have when it comes to this profession, and these two voice actresses perform the multiple ranges of the cast of Higurashi exceptionally well. However, this isn't the case for the dub. Now, I obviously can't speak for the French or Korean dubs due to my incapability to speak the languages, but the English dub feels like it was all thrown together the day before it was meant to air, like a school project when you're just trying to get at least a C-. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, no, Alex, not the dub, so don't worry, I'll just give you an interpretation as what it sounds like to me.
Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away.
Now, albeit anime dubbing isn't as stressed here, or anywhere not Japan for that matter, but with a series like Higurashi that's meant to incorporate many emotions that span an extensive range on the genre scale, it's really sad to hear Japanese names completely mispronounced, and scenes that were meant to be thrilling turned into mere shouting contests. The only person worth mentioning for the English dub would be George Grant, who played Maibara, but even he was just average at best. So I know that subs are annoying at times because you have to read what characters say, and you have to look at the screen at all times, yada yada yada, but the amount of expression that goes into each character with the Japanese actors and actresses makes Higurashi so much more of a thrilling mystery. Now, for some unknown reason, Higurashi Kai has not been licensed for an English dub.
The dub is shit, K-bye.
So it would be best to start out with subs, so you won't have to change voices midway through the series. On to the topic of OSTs, Higurashi without a doubt has some of the best eerie music I have ever heard. Higurashi's main theme is a prime example. It's the music currently playing in the background. So if you take this song and put it with almost any depressing scene in the anime, it works terrifically. And the main theme isn't the only OST that deserves recognition. All the songs that you've heard during this review happen to be my personal favorites, like the tracks named Oyashiro-sama and Yui. Even though the music was lacking when it came to the upbeat and peaceful scenes during the anime, it still gave the buoyant impression that it was meant to show. Some of the lighthearted music was spectacular, like one of the OSTs, Shizuka no Asa, and some lackluster, like Genki Shirushi, which it made difficult to enjoy the lighter side of the anime. These were rare occasions though and shouldn't be taken too roughly. But in the end, Higurashi's grim OSTs are their forte. Ah, finally. The parts I wanted to talk about for so long. The openings. Higurashi's first opening is famous for its mystique chanting accompanied by dark lyrics and gory scenes. However, Higurashi Kai's opening has superb symbolism and animation that is just fantastical. However, I would definitely not recommend reading the English lyrics to the opening for Kai because like many other openings, the lyrics may spoil events that happen in either scene.
Fuck you, Alex, you stole this review from me. Now I have to postpone it for another 6 months. But Higurashi is bloody amazing. Get it? Because it's bloody? No? Go fuck yourself.
The endings generally don't even have anything special about them, which I was kind of disappointed about. Well, except for the first ending, which has so much of the English, it's so hard to understand. That isn't enough of a reason to say that Higurashi's soundtrack isn't a fantastic one. With all that in mind, I've meticulously calculated values for the categories of story, characters, anime. Alright, sheesh, take a joke. After all my analyses, I have given the categories of story a 9, characters a 10, animation a 6, and sound an 8.5. My critical score of Higurashi no Naku Koro ni and its second season Kai is 8 out of 10. However, if you're wondering what it would be with my personal enjoyment, the score would jump to an 8.5, with my enjoyment being a 10. Meaning I enjoy the shit out of this anime. So with that in mind, if you're looking for an anime to watch, this masterpiece is the thing you go for. However, if you're already currently watching something, watch this immediately after you're done. Unless it's ecchi, then drop that shit and watch this. For alternative recommendations, I point you towards 2 well-known horror anime, the first of which being one of my gateways, Elfenlied, a twisted horror love story with a lot of blood and limb loss, and the other anime being the aforementioned Monster, a horror, thriller, and mystery that is a personal favorite of mine, and is definitely not as gory as the other two. So anyways guys, thanks so much for watching. I really want to improve since this is my first review, and your feedback and criticism will help a lot as usual, so please tell me how I did in the comments. Huge thanks to Kevin and Lewis Louis for helping me out with this review. It definitely would not be possible without you two. Well, it would, but it wouldn't be as funny. I'll leave a link to their channels in the thingy that no one reads, so please check out their channels. Their reviews are terrific. And if you need anything at all, you know who your anime god is.
Drop it.
Best girl, 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 best girl.